Hey guys, Ken's 97 Stowe 171. All done at Michigan City, and the miracle of miracles, it actually fit all in the hopper. Can't believe it. It was 49,000 pounds too. What the hell's all the traffic? There's never anybody through here. So we're headed back out of Michigan City, and should be able to at least get back to the I-94 with what I got left. And I gotta get some fuel. And fuel for the truck and fuel for me. It's like a freaking car fest. There's never anybody around here when I come out of this place. It's like there's 500 cars all over. Well, it's 5 o'clock. Maybe the plant was letting out. There's nobody in there. When I delivered, there was nobody there. So I thought they'd all gone home already, but it's bizarre. Well, I always drive like shit right after I get done unloading a trailer. Man, there's nobody there. Yeehaw for me. Because the inertia, when you're fully loaded, the inertia is different. When you shift gears, the truck seems, it rolls along more. The timing is slightly different when you shift, when you go from fully loaded to empty. So we're going to go the back way. Don't know if I've ever videoed that before or not. It's kind of scenic and it's a little shorter. The last time I went through here, I think I turned left here and went down, whatever this is, it's 33 or 31 or some bullshit. And that goes all the way down to I-94 too, but I'm going to take the back way. It is slightly shorter. Route. Tired today. If I'd have got going this morning as early as possible, I could have already been home. But would have been going like 2 in the morning, and it's alright. I needed to sleep, so I stayed in bed. And what sucks is, though, I have a bad habit. I set the alarm for 6. Alarm goes off, hit the snooze button. The first time I did that, I was like, man, forget it. I'm just going to sleep until 7. So I reset the alarm for 7. One alarm went off at 7. Hit the snooze button. And I pretty much then hit the snooze button from 7 until like 9:30. Which is stupid, because you don't really, I didn't really sleep from 7 until 9:30. Every 15 minutes the alarm's going off and you hit the button. And so, it's dumb. I do that a lot. Well, not a lot, but I knew this delivery didn't have to be at any particular time. I could have been here any time I wanted, pretty much, so it didn't really matter. It was basically up to me, and I should have just got up, you know, when the alarm went off at 7, or I should have reset the alarm for 9 and slept for 2 hours. Instead, you know, it's like, go back to sleep, 15 minutes later, the alarm wakes you up, go back to sleep, and that doesn't really get you anything. In fact, I think it tends to make you more tired. Because that's 2 hours I could have been, like, doing something and, like, been home. I mean, I'd have been halfway home, well, almost, if I'd have got up at 7. So it's like, you know, I didn't get anything for those 2 hours of extra sleeping. Cold. I got the AC going. It's humid. I gotta stop for some food. I need fuel too. I'm a little now, between a quarter and a half tank, more than enough to get. I actually could probably wait. Till I get southeast of Indianapolis. I probably would make that, but we'll see how I feel. I'd like to get some food, and there's a decent, easy to get into truck stop just a little south of Chicago on 65. Actually, there's a couple. There's a Love's, and there's a Flying J, and there's a Pilot right there too. For whatever reason, I gotta just realized I left my phone going. I'll run the battery now. A little bit of a craving for McDonald's for some reason. Flying J has a standalone Arby's plus the interior restaurant. I don't want to spend that much time though. I want to eat and go, fuel, eat, go, and you know, hell, maybe I'll just go and maybe I'll just fuel, get a couple of corn dogs and eat those on the way home, and then get real food when I get home. Maybe I'll do that. You know. I don't know if you guys heard about the, you probably have. By the time I post this, it'll be widespread news, but there was an anarchist group planned to blow up a bridge somewhere near Cleveland, Ohio. FBI set them up. Somebody heard about it, and they were saying the group, originally their idea was to like damage corporate signs. They wanted to throw smoke grenades, you know, like in the middle of people eating lunch downtown or something, basically scare people. And then at some point that escalated to, hey, I got an idea, let's blow up a bridge. And they pursued that. FBI, I guess, got wind of them maybe even before that. And ended up selling them C4, fake C4. There's no possible way for it to explode. It was, I don't know, neutralized or clay, or I don't know what the hell it was, but it was non-functioning C4, and sold it to them, went through the whole process, and they actually allowed the anarchist group to actually place the explosives on the bridge and press the button expecting the bridge to blow up. When it didn't happen, then the FBI or whoever, you know, all basically they were there hiding in the woods, and they arrested them. That way, it's not just an issue of, you know, they sold them the C4, and their defense could have been, well, we weren't really going to blow up a bridge, we were just talking about, you know, they actually set the explosives and pressed the button, and then when nothing happened, they were arrested. Good on the FBI for that. You know, I mean, I get nervous, you know, Patriot 1, Patriot 2 Act, and some of the powers the federal government has, and I think you know my opinion about federal authority relative to states' rights. But there is no denying that, you know, there are people in the government that are doing their jobs, and doing their jobs damn well. You know, this is not the first time something like this has happened. You know, there have been other terrorist attacks that have been thwarted by the federal government, and I you know, quite frankly, I give credit to George Bush for that. You know, he set a lot of those agencies up, or they were set up under his administration. And whether you like the policies or not, and some of them I don't, some of them are frightening, you know, a little Orwellian paranoia, like 1984, the movie, if you guys don't know what that's about. Actually, 1984, the book, written by George Orwell. But there's no denying that at least some of the stuff that they've done obviously is working, because, you know, there have been bombings in Europe, you know, the London bombing and some others, and we haven't really had another terrorist attack here since 9/11. And, you know, I'm sorry, for 1 or 2 or 5 years you might be able to say that's a coincidence, but, you know, over the length of time that it's been, that's no coincidence. It's because somebody's doing their damn job. And it's certainly not Congress. But anyway, that was in the news. Yeah, they busted them. Like 5 or 6 guys, and one was like 38 years old, but the rest of them are all in their 20s. You know, and they're going to throw the book at these people. I mean, they tried to blow up a bridge. You know, I'm sorry, but they're going to be going to jail for the rest of their lives. I don't see any way they're going to get out of prison. They'll charge them with terroristic act or whatever the hell they can charge them with. And, you know, I'm not trying to say I feel sorry for them. I don't. They made a choice to do what they did. But, you know, some of that can be excused when you're 19, 20, 21, 22. Some of that can be explained by young youth stupidity, okay? And it's unfortunate that they're going to pay a heavy price for their stupidity and short-sightedness, and quite frankly, at that age, at 19, 20, I don't think there's anybody under 20, but I'm as an example, when you're that young, you really don't yet know how the world really works. And it's easy to sit there and go, oh, you know, Procter & Gamble bad, Citibank bad, you know, evil, and you really don't have any, at that age, you can't have a real conception of, you know, bills, living, car payments, what real life is about. And it's very easy to have a utopian view of the way you think the world should be. A lot of the Occupy people are the same way, you know. Everything should just be free and everybody should be able to do whatever they want. And while some of that, you know, might be nice, the reality of living in the world that they think would be great, quite frankly, would be an utter disaster. I don't want to stay on this too long because I don't really want to get into politics. I've been trying, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I've been trying to stay away from politics. Quite frankly, and this isn't really politics. It's I don't really consider terrorism and that crap politics. That's not really politics, but you guys know my opinions on politics. For the most part, politicians suck. They're out for themselves, regardless of party. And like to throw all their asses out, start over with people that actually are statesmen, not politicians. And that's the problem. We have lifetime politicians instead of statespeople. And but anyway, so what else is going on? I got the Yamaha DT175 running. Been driving it around quite a bit. I haven't yet had a chance to do a good video of while I'm driving it. This camera, the GoPro here that I've got on my head, when I'm on the motorcycle, it needs to be mounted in its enclosure, and it's doing a really poor job of that. I don't know why. The microphone doesn't pick up any sound really well, and I don't know what's wrong with it, but so I've been trying to work out a different way to do it. And haven't really come up with anything yet. I've tried recording a few things. I did a scooter video, got back, and you couldn't hear me, you couldn't hear the scoot, it was pointless. So I got to figure out another way to do that. Yeah, I know, get a new HD GoPro Hero, yeah. I'd really like to know what these dumb fucks are doing. Speed limit is more than 40 miles an hour. But it's running pretty good. I got to run it down the interstate a little bit. I don't want to do that too much right now because it's still has 34-year-old tires on it. But it'll do a solid 65 indicated, maybe 68 indicated with my fat ass on it. So I mean, it's wide open throttle, but it certainly runs at speed better than the China bike does. It feels better at that speed, and it's almost at the end of its rev range. So I think what I want to do is maybe try getting reduce the rear sprocket by like 2 teeth, not much. Because quite frankly, it's a little bit zippy in first gear. It's a little long, a little short, and it's too easy to pull the front wheel off. And I have no desire to be doing wheelies. I've done a few accidentally on it just by goosing the throttle at the wrong time, and I really don't want it to do that. So I'm thinking a couple of teeth on a rear sprocket might be just about perfect. And you know, if it could run 70 wide open throttle, I'd be happy with that, because then you could take it on the highway, especially rush hour traffic in the morning doesn't really go that fast. So, however, I did discover yesterday, I got a battery for it, charged it up, turn signals and everything started working perfectly fine. Well, last night I noticed none of that stuff is working very well again. So I suspect that the charging circuit is not working, or the electronics involved are not working, which kind of sucks. Doesn't stop you from riding the bike, but what are they doing? So they slowed down to like 35 miles an hour for no fucking reason. They are from Georgia, I think. Maybe they're looking for something. Now they're going to take off. They're fucking stupid. Well, they can't be very bright. Yeah, those are cars coming. Imagine that. That's a good-looking lifted Jeep. So yeah, I got to figure out why the charging circuit's not working right. You know, I thought I toasted that new battery I bought when I charged it. I definitely overcooked it a little bit. So I guess that it's possible that could be the problem too. I don't know. But it ran the bike for, I don't know, like 2 or 3 different rides that I've gone on, and it just started malfunctioning yesterday. So, I don't know. Don't really know. But I'll have to get that worked out. But other than that, it runs pretty damn good. Easy to start. Even when it's cold, it's easy to start. And forgot this is a... Man, I'm freaking hungry. Uh-oh, that guy's got a tire fire. I don't know if he knew that. He just got off that exit. He didn't know it. He knows it now. When he comes to a stop, that tire's going to be on fire. One thing new that's happened, since I got my truck back, it now remembers what speed you set it at, even after you turn the engine off. It never used to do that before. You'd hit resume, and you'd have to reset the cruise. Oh shit! So I was looking in. I think I told you guys I was looking for like a powered canoe that I wanted to, you know, to get going. And I think I changed my mind a little bit. Instead, I think I might look for a really, really light aluminum, I guess they call it a John boat, or a fishing boat. 15, 17 foot, a little wider. And found one on Craigslist. I have to wait till I get paid on Friday to hopefully it's still available. But it's a 17 foot aluminum boat. Got a 2.5 horsepower. Something carry, I don't know, it's a little 2-stroke, air-cooled, outboard motor. Comes with an electric trolling motor, and an older fish finder for $700. Oh, and the trailer, working lights and everything. So, I think we might go that way instead. I mean, canoes, I like the idea of the canoe because I figured it'd be easier to store, and it would be easier to, I could put it in the garage or whatever, but started thinking, you know, it might be even light canoes are about 50, 75 pounds, and you got to put them up on the roof, and our Legacy has a tow hitch, so I started thinking, you know, it might be easier just to have a bigger boat. You know, you can put more people in it, not that many people, but it would be more stable. You know, I mean, a canoe's pretty easy to tip over, and so I think I may go that way instead, especially even if that one is sold. You know, I may look at doing something like that instead. Really weird. The boat was kind of weird. It was a corrugated aluminum look. It wasn't like smooth. It was corrugated. It was kind of, I've never seen a boat quite like it. It's a shallow V-hulled aluminum boat. You know, at least the sides were that way. Maybe just for strength. Dimpled. It wasn't like lines on the. It was almost like crinkled, like little miniature egg cartons. You know. I'm assuming the bottom was flat, smooth. It would be kind of dumb. But you know, I mean, I realize a 2.5 horsepower outboard's not going to get you down the road very fast, but I'm really not after that. I'm more after a relaxing day out on the lake, just or down, you know, trolling along down the river, exploring some of the creeks and things, and being able to fish might be kind of nice too. You know, something my wife and I could do together. She doesn't really like fishing, but she likes to sunbathe, and I can't stand that. I mean, you know, she loves to go to the pool and sit there and do nothing all day in front of the pool, and I can't stand that. It's that nice. I want to be outside doing something, not sitting around. Well, she can get a little chair or whatever, and she can sunbathe in the boat just as easily as she could sunbathe anywhere else. So, catch some fish. You don't eat fish out of the Ohio River, but yeah, no. You take it up to Lawrence, to Brookville Lake, or Ron Paul, 2012. I don't even know if he's still running. But so that's kind of what's going on with that. It'll happen when it happens. We got other stuff we got to worry about too. So, you know. But it seems like that's a good deal. Boat, trailer, small outboard, small trolling motor, and a fish finder for $700 seems like a good deal to me. You know, the boat's small enough to easily handle by yourself. Come on, man. Should have made the move before that car came. Stuck over here in the right lane. So, anywho, I wonder where the little paper rolls are there. Must be like the bill of lading for each hole. That's pretty wild. What else? I don't know. Some HIDs installed in the Legacy. They look great. Made a video of that too, but I haven't posted it. At least I don't think I did. Fuck. Some old boats in there. Some really old boats over there. Yeah, might as well come over here. I got a suspicion that camera's looking a little too much up. See, I needed to mount it higher, point it down. We'll see. Bunch of old cars over there, Benz, Jags. That's fucking cool. I know you guys can't see that shit with this old GoPro. They're saying on the news today that you guys remember a year ago or whatever, all those wild animals were let loose in Zanesville, Ohio. Really terrible story. The guy was, I don't know what the deal was. He was distraught about something, and walked around he's a private citizen, had this animal park thing, and just had dozens of tigers and lions and bears and oh my, wolves and freaking monkeys and just all kinds. He had camels, some other things, and he let them loose. At some point. and then killed himself. I don't know if he shot himself or let a lion eat him or what happened, but they found him dead. You know, and people call the police because, you know, they come out their back door and they see a freaking lion walking down the street in the town. They realize, well, you know, everybody knew about this guy, and so they went and they ended up killing every animal. They shot to death basically every animal that was there, I think except for 5. It was like 42 wild animals, and like 5 survived, which by the time the police got there and they figured out what the hell was going on, it was already getting dark, you know, and I'm sorry, but you really don't want to have carnivorous cats wandering around. Look at all those trees gone. You know, I mean, cats are nocturnal. People aren't. And you know, I mean, if you're the cop or the deputy sheriff or the whoever the hell they called in, you know, and you see something move in front of you, you tend to shoot it. And I think they even shot the camel, you know, because I mean, you see something big coming at you in the dark, and you got a rifle, you know, and it could you don't know what it is. You're probably going to shoot first, and then be like, oh damn, that was a camel. But regardless, they were all killed except for 5 of them. I think a leopard, a panther, a bear, and 2 monkeys, 2 macaques. That's it. Really frightening and sad to lose that many endangered animals. Some of them were endangered species even. Anyway, the news is that the Columbus Zoo, which has been housing those 5 animals, is going to be releasing them back to the widow of the guy who let them out. There's nothing legally that can be done to stop it. However, the zoo is going to maintain, like, a watch over the stuff. And I guess I kind of feel kind of split on that whole thing. On one hand, I'm attracted to the idea of people being able to own things that they want to own, but you also have to balance that with common sense and public safety. You know, I guess you have to ask, you know, you need to, you know, I want to own a lion. Why? Because, wow. You know, now I'll tell you what, if somebody ever figures out how to fuss the genetics on big cats so they could remain a lion cub or a tiger cub forever, somebody's going to be a freaking billionaire, because they are incredibly cute. The problem is, you know, in a matter of months they get a lot larger, and then they get dangerous and uncontrollable, and then they can eat you. But if somebody could, you know, if somebody could genetically modify, I'm not saying I support that kind of thing, but if somebody could figure out how to genetically modify a lion or a tiger so that it would never get bigger than a cub, you know, and quite frankly, they'd probably do that with just about every animal, because I think, isn't it true, you know, kittens and puppies, everybody thinks they're so much cuter. I don't know, I just, the law that they're trying to pass in Ohio has to do with, there are, what was the word the guy used? Exotic animals, which are okay to have, like ferrets and, you know, things. There are exotic animals, geckos and iguanas and lizards and things like that. And then there's another classification for dangerous exotic animals. And I guess the classification for what makes it dangerous, you know, could it kill you? Well, you know, an iguana's not going to kill you. A gecko's not going to kill you. And some snakes are perfectly okay. Even like boa constrictors, you know, the expert was on, and he's like, he's never really heard of anybody being killed by their own boa constrictor. So, you know, should it be on the dangerous list or not? So they're working all that out, and the law went through the Ohio Senate already, and now it's working its way through the Ohio House of Representatives. And so I must say though, I always thought it'd be really cool to have a pet cheetah. Cool, yes. The reality of that, not so much. But I mean, like a camel, if you had like farmland where it could graze or whatever, you know, roam freely, you know, I mean, a camel or a zebra or a, you know, a giraffe or something like that, you know, you could probably work that out if you had, you know, 10 or 20 acres of good grazing land where it could run and do what they do. That would be okay. Because, I mean, a zebra is not any more dangerous than a horse or a, you know. But, you know, do you want a hippo? No. Rhinoceros? Probably not. You know. Even elephants can be, you know, very aggressive and dangerous because of their size. So, you know, and monkeys. I don't know. I hear they're kind of nasty. Hey guy, it's like, where are you going to go? You're racing up on the guy and then you cut in front of me. Ooh, they got a Cinnabon. Oh my god, that said Cinnabon, baked freshly at Burger King. Holy crap, you can get Cinnabon at Burger King? That would be cool. Last time I went to Cinnabon, though, it wasn't that great. It wasn't like as fresh as I remembered it being in the past. Could just be the time of day I happen to go, though, too. I'll tell you what's kick-ass, though. Auntie Anne's pretzels. Holy crap. They got good lemonade, too. But regardless of what kind of pretzel you like, man, that's the best. The dough they use is just amazing. Regular salted pretzel, I can't eat regular, like, pretzels that you get, you know, at the, you know, at like a sporting event. You know, oh, they're terrible. Compared to Auntie Anne's, oh my god. You want something sweet, they've got a sugar and cinnamon dipped. It's like they take a pretzel, they dip it in butter, and then dip it in freaking cinnamon and sugar or something, I don't know, and make it stick to it. Oh my god. Freaking, it's almost too sweet. But their regular buttered, salted pretzel, oh. I like to have them make it with extra salt, because then they re-dip it in the butter and then like sprinkle the salt on it again. Doesn't really add that much more salt, but it adds to the buttery taste of it. Oh my god. It's so good. You walk in that place and it's the smell of the baking bread. Oh, freaking unbelievably good. This is what happens when I'm hungry. Instead of having two corn dogs, I'm going to go in, and I'm probably going to stuff my face now. Or be stupid and get like a bunch of Krispy Kreme donuts or something. Eat like 4 of them, and then you feel like you're totally, like you're going to die. Well, I know something I didn't tell you guys about. I've got a friend, a neighbor, just, we met maybe a week or 2 ago, spoke occasionally, and then this past week we spent some more time together. Cool neighbor, his name's John. And if you see this, John, hello. John has a 2001 Z06 Corvette. Let me just say, it doesn't suck. Yeah, it's nice, and his is really rare. Actually, his is in Snow 1, which I don't know if that's the first year for it or what the deal is, but it's actually his. It was car number 5, which, according to his research, means that it in fact was car number 1, because cars 1 through 4 go through quality control and crash testing. And his car was actually the first one to be put on the, would have been the first to go on the street of the run of cars. And in fact, it didn't end up even on the street. Instead, it got wheeled across the street, and it spent the first 4 years of its life at the Corvette Museum on display as the Z06 Corvette, which I think may have been a new model in 01. I don't think there was one previous to that. It was a new package. So, it's been 4 years of its life on display at the Corvette Museum. Got all the paperwork to show that. Got the original build sheet. Not a copy. You can get a build sheet from Chevrolet, but it has a number at the top, tells you that it's a copy. This is the one he has, is the one that was on the car as it went through the assembly process. So it's the original build sheet. Come on, people. The speed limit is fucking 65. What is the freaking hold up here? So, it's red. It's got 40,000 on it, which kind of unfortunate, according to him. You know, he did not put all those miles on it. It was somebody bought it right off the showroom, off the museum floor. An older gentleman. He drove it. He put most of those miles on it, and then my friend John purchased it. And let's just say it's pretty quick. I mean, compared to a new Corvette, even a base model Corvette's making more power. But I think this one's making 385 horse and about something like that. It's still quick as hell. Still quick as hell. And you know, the thing about the Vette, it's fast. They handle pretty good. It's not like Miata. It's a different kind of handling, you know. But it is a comfortable car. I mean, it doesn't ride very harshly. The seats are comfortable. It's got a great stereo. There's a lot of room in the back for luggage if you wanted to take it on a trip. And just a really comfortable car. So, yeah, it hauls some serious ass, though. This is why you have 3-lane highways instead of 2-lane highways. In my opinion, they should turn that into a lane and use only the emergency lane on the right. No need for that, really. As long as you have one over there. With 3 lanes, there should be 1 emergency lane on the right. You got 4 lanes, then I think you need 2. But there's no need for that lane in there. Wow, that accomplished a lot, man. The problem is this school bus. That's probably what was holding everything up. Still not a lane over there. I don't know what the hell it's for. smells hot. Stay here because Mr. Crete driver there, if it's a Crete truck, is going to be going slower than me. One thing you learn, you know, what trucks go what speed, and you know, if I saw a Schneider guy up there or a Prime or something, I'm just going to stay here because I know I'm going to be going faster than him. So if I get over, it just gives the opportunity for somebody to come up on my inside, and then I'm stuck behind him. So. And I'm slowly gaining on him. I mean, I'm slowly gaining on him. Boy, I don't like speed limiters in trucks. If I didn't have a speed limiter, I'd hit the freaking throttle and zoom ahead, make the pass, and be done with it. Sorry, I got sidetracked there. Yeah, Corvette. Awesome. Nice car. I told you about my friend with the F2000, and he's probably going to keep his car for the next year, at least this summer. But you know, I told him, I was like, you really ought to think about that, because if he could find like a two-year-old certified used, you know, something like that, get a nice long powertrain warranty on it because it's certified used. You know, it's a lot of car for the money, you know. I found him an 07 convertible, $30,000, you know. You can get them cheaper than that. He's just worried about reliability, you know, because Consumer Reports doesn't give the Vette a very good rating. And, you know, my friend was kind of like, why would I not, he's like, why would I not just get a Camaro convertible? Because the SS Camaro is making the same power as the base Corvette. And I told him, well, yeah, maybe, but I think the Vette's lighter and has a different transmission. So, I don't know. That probably will be going off here anytime now. Windy. Thing is on the roof there. The TPS or oh, it's a light. I don't know about this truck too. The mirrors move too quickly. Never get it just right. Well, probably gonna have to go in here to the weigh station if it's open, in which case I will call an end to it. In fact, why don't I just, well, we'll see if it's open. found some construction projects that need to be done. Might have been missing in that whole America Recovery Act. It's open. Gotta go, guys. I'll see y'all.